Hello people, time for another Beyond the Boundaries video, and for this one I've come to Middlesbrough for the first time ever on TVI. Here we have the Middlesbrough Council logo sign, Middlesbrough moving forward, and above the B, R, O and U there you can see we have two little orange towers. Now they're not towers, they represent perhaps Middlesbrough's most famous structure, and I'm standing right in front of it. Standing like a blue beacon across the River Tees is this magnificent bridge. It links Middlesbrough on the southern side of the river to Port Clarence in Stockton-on-Tees on the northern side. This is far from being any normal type of bridge. This is a transporter bridge, and it's the longest existing transporter in the world. To use this bridge, you are literally transported from one side of the river to the other on a gondola, which is suspended from the steel structure high above the water. As such, it's actually classed as part of a road, the A178 in fact, between Middlesbrough and Hartlepool. The gondola gets across the Tees in just 90 seconds. It can carry 200 people, 9 cars, or 6 cars and 1 minibus. This has been a symbol of Teesside since it was opened in 1911, but the idea for a transporter bridge over the Tees had been around for a long time before it was actually constructed. The suggestion that the two sides of the river should be somehow linked via something physical goes back to 1872. That's when Charles Smith, the manager of Hartlepool Ironworks, submitted a scheme to the Middlesbrough Corporation, first mooting the idea of a transporter. However, the scheme was not pursued, and it would take 35 years for the idea to be revisited again. In 1907, following an Act of Parliament, the bridge was at last to be built. Cost-wise, it would be just over £68,000. That's the modern equivalent of more than 9 million. It was built by Sir William Arrol & Co of Glasgow between 1910 and 1911. It replaced two steam ferry services named Hugh Bell and Eremus, which previously had provided transport over the river. So why a transporter bridge? Could they not just have built a regular bridge? Well, no. You see, the Act of Parliament ruled that any new way of getting over the Tees had to avoid affecting river navigation. With Middlesbrough being an important port, which by the way it still is to this day, the bridge had to account for boats. By using a gondola suspended from high above, it would never be in the way of even the tallest ships. Problem solved. So, ever since 1911, this has been the furthest point downstream on the Tees where it can be crossed by a physical structure. Its uniqueness as a tourist attraction has also attracted people from all over the world to come and see how it works. So there is a visitor centre here, and I've just had a really good conversation with the guy who runs it. He's called Scruff Tidy, and he's invited me through the centre onto this walkway because apparently you can get some really good shots of the bridge and of the River Tees and all the industry on the other side of the river if you do this. I feel quite honoured to be able to do this actually, because I wasn't expecting it. So here we go. Here we have the Tees. Fantastic stuff, lots of industry on the other side. He was telling me when this was originally built, the other side of the river, the northern side of the Tees, was very marshy, not very inhabitable, and it's a bit different now of course. But there you go, there's the River Tees from the underside of the transporter bridge. This has been closed for 6 years and it will be hopefully reopened again soon. It would be great, wouldn't it, to actually use the bridge and cross the Tees, but at the moment you can't. It just needs a bit of structural work doing to it apparently. A few final checks before it can reopen again. The fact the bridge is currently closed is hardly surprising. Believe it or not, the Tees transporter was only ever supposed to last for 30 years. It's been here for more than 110. That's proof, if you ever needed it, that stuff was built to last. It's survived the 2 world wars, which is rather incredible considering the bridge was hit by bombs in both of them. In World War I, Middlesbrough was bombed by a Zeppelin in April 1916. During that raid, a bomb reportedly fell through the structure, landing in the river below. In World War II, the superstructure of the bridge was hit by another bomb, but again it survived. It has had a few other problems since it opened too. For example, in 1953, the gondola got stuck halfway. While it was stuck, gale force winds lashed water to within inches of it. Despite that, the bridge continued to operate. It may have had its problems, but the engineering know-how that went into making this the iconic structure that it is today should be commended. In fact, in 1993, that engineering work was honoured. That December, the bridge was awarded the Institution of Mechanical Engineers' highest honour, the Heritage Plaque for Engineering Excellence. It was in recognition of the council's efforts in keeping the bridge in good working order. Also in 1993, its prominence as a local landmark was further enhanced by the installation of floodlights that operate during the winter months. In 2011, the bridge received a £2.6 million Heritage Lottery Fund Award for improvement and renovation work to mark its centenary. The improvement works included the installation of a glass viewing lift to the upper walkway and renovation of the gondola. And speaking of the walkway, did you know you can actually walk over this bridge? On both sides of the river there are some steps which take you up to the top of the bridge. From there, you can literally walk over the river, like you would with any other regular bridge. Pedestrians wishing to cross in that way would pay half the price of the regular fee to cross on the gondola, and that brings us to the fact that this is a toll bridge, and you need to pay to use it. Okay, so of course at the moment the bridge is closed, but when it reopens, these are the prices you pay to get across the Tees, or at least this is what they were at the time it closed. Who knows, it might go up a little bit when it reopens. But there you go. At the bottom you can see the bridge will not operate in poor visibility or high winds, which kind of makes a little bit of sense. It's a tall structure, and of course if you've got either of those things, it's not safe to use. It's a bit like the Humber Bridge in that regard. The operating times on the right hand side there, Monday to Friday, 7:15 to 11:45, and then 1 o'clock until 6:15. Slightly different on a Saturday and a bank holiday, and Sunday closed. Travels every 15 minutes, starting on the hour, except peak times. So when this eventually does reopen, those are the particulars, I suppose. In 1974, comedy actor Terry Scott, who was travelling between Middlesbrough and Billingham, mistook the bridge for a regular toll crossing and as a result ended up driving his Jaguar off the end of the road. Luckily, there is some safety netting underneath to catch you. Since 1961, the bridge has had its distinctive blue colour. It was closed in 2013 for 40 days in order to be repainted, but that's when it was discovered that repairs were needed. It did reopen, but in 2019 it closed again amid safety concerns. It's thought that the current set of repairs could cost more than £7 million, but that's a small price to pay really, given it's such an iconic landmark. So there you go, that is the Tees Transporter Bridge here in Middlesbrough, and it's a unique structure here in this country because we only have one other of these, and that is in Wales. It's in Newport, but this is the only one we have in England, and it's been a symbol of Teesside since it opened in 1911.